Let's take some yellow squash and make it into a delicious pie. This recipe calls for about 3 or 4 medium-sized squash to make it into this delicious looking pie. Give them a little pat before you cut them all up. So, after we have washed our squash, we are just going to cut this like so.
Wash your squash. Now I've got Sean Connery's voice in my head.
And then I'm going to scrape out all these seeds because we don't want any seeds. At least I don't. Some people don't mind. So just take a spoon and scrape those seeds out. Just scrape all the seeds out so they look like little boats. After you get your seeds out, you just want to cut these up into pieces about that size. Is anybody else sick of squash casserole and squash fritters? I know I am. I'm ready for some good old pie. So I have all of my squash cut up. I've got my Instant Pot out. I have 1 cup of water that I put in there. Put it in my steamer basket. And I'm just gonna dump all of these into the old Instant Pot. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can do this on your stove. Just do it over medium heat. And just cook them till they're soft. You don't want them total mush. You're just trying to get them a little tender and getting some of the moisture, liquid, out of your squash. So I am going to turn this on manual. And we only have to cook this on high pressure for 1 minute. As soon as that timer's up, make sure you immediately change your vent to venting. Take it off of sealed and put it on venting. This thingy. I know how y'all love my technical terms. So the Instant Pot just went off. Gonna see if there's any steam in here. Oh, yeah. Well, duh. Of course there's steam in there. We're just going to release all that. Hello, facial steam. So now I am going to very carefully, so don't scold myself, dump these into a colander so all of the liquid can drain off. Hello, I just said carefully. Wow. My squash in my strainer for quite a while, draining, and then I dumped it onto a little towel, and then I'm taking a paper towel and just kind of smushing it down, trying to get more of that moisture out of there. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot. You just want to get them drier. And you want these to be completely cool before you work with them. Then I'm going to mix together a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Oh, I just noticed my ramekin has a chip out of it. Great. In another little bowl, you want to use 2 eggs that have been left out to room temperature. cracking egg number uno. And cracking egg number two. Dos. Just give those a good whisk. Whisk them up. All right, so I've got my food processor out. Oh, the dogs don't like that word. Gosh. I've got my squash, and I'm just dumping this in here. Putting my lid on. Slightly struggling. Now I'm just going to turn this on and blend this all up till it's smooth. Well, that's the off button. That's the off button. It always helps if you hit the right button. There we go. Alright, it's been running for a while. Let's see if this is smooth enough. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. So now I am just going to dump this into a mixing bowl. Alright, so I have a pie crust that I made the other day. If you all are interested in seeing how I make that, let me know in the comments down below. But you don't have to make a pie crust if you don't want to. You can just buy a pre-made one. So I've had this sitting out for a little while. It's nice and smooth. Love the feel of this dough. So I'm just shaping it into a ball. Got my rolling pin, giving that a good flour so it doesn't stick. This is going to be more than enough dough for this pie crust. I'm sure I won't need this whole thing, but... So I'm just going to roll this out until I get it nice and thin. Oops! I don't know why I didn't cut this in half. Roll, roll, roll the dough. This is for sure too much. So I've got my pie crust all rolled out nice and thin. So I'm just rolling it up in the rolling pin. I got way too much dough. I knew that I would, but that's alright, because we'll just cut it off. Get you a sharp knife. Trim your edges. Oops. Lord of mercy. I'm just hacking this poor thing. And then I'm just going to go around, crimp my edges. I'm just going to do this all the way around. Okay, so then back into our food processor. We want to 2 cups, about 1 3/4 cups, 2 cups of your pureed squash. Put that in there. Then we're going to add those 2 eggs that we beat earlier. Going to put those in there. And then we are also going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Add that in there. we're going to add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. I think next time I make a pumpkin pie, I'm going to leave out the evaporated milk and sugar and try it with the sweetened condensed milk instead. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before. Make sure you get all that deliciousness out of there. And then we have our spice mixture that we made up. Just giving that a little mix. Use the old finger. And we're gonna dump that in. Get it all. My hands are washed. Yes, my hands are clean. I haven't been petting my dog. Alright, so I'm just going to give this all a good blend. Did anybody else notice that I forgot to put my blade in? Here's a good tip. Always make sure your blade's in if you want to blend something up. So I just had to dump it out into a bowl, and now I'm pouring it back into my food processor. First, I can't even turn it on, and then I forget my blade. Alright, so I have my pie crust. And this is really thin, but you don't need to worry about it, because it will thicken up when it cooks. Ooh, so just pour all that deliciousness into your pie crust. And I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm just going to pop this in there for approximately 50 to 60 minutes. And then we'll check it. All right, who wants to come help do all these dishes? Any volunteers? Hello? Of course not. Don't everyone come running at once. Our pie has come out of the oven. It's nice and golden brown. And I want to let this cool completely for about an hour probably. And then we'll taste it. So, our pie has cooled off. It's been sitting here torturing me for about an hour. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. I'm gonna squirt me a little. Ooh, yes. Let's give this a taste. It looks so good. Alright. Oh my. It's just sweet and creamy. Thank you, Mr. Vegetable, for turning into this delicious pie. So anyway, this is a great way to use up your summer squash if you're tired of making casseroles like I was. If you do give this a try, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, people, and have a great day. See you in the next video. This is such a beautiful sight. I just had to play it again.
In slow motion. Oh, yeah.